Hi, good morning. If you can hear me, can you give a response? Hello, we are starting the webinar soon. Uh, if you can hear me, can you give a response by typing something? Oh, okay. Okay, now we shall proceed then. So now is second quarter earnings season. So we'll start off by presenting the results of the company that's in our coverage. So that's a Soybuild Business Space REIT, which they announced their results last week. So to summarize, was a 17% year-on-year growth in their gross revenue. This was mainly due to contributions from KTL Offshore, SpeedyTech, and Thales Marine, which were acquired in the last FY, and also from Technics, which was acquired in the second quarter of this year, and some minor contribution from positive rental reversions in the portfolio. On the bottom line, the DPU grew 7.7% year on year. Three key points for Soybuild. Firstly, the occupancy remains high at 99.8%. This is almost full, but they have some confirmed non-renewals within their portfolio that will be expiring in the later part of this year. This comes from their West Park Biz Central and Tuas Connection. So the REIT manager is working towards finding tenants for these non-renewals. Second point, the REIT is well positioned for inorganic growth. Their gearing is quite a comfortable level, 36%, and that would imply a 75 million debt headroom using the assumption of 40% gearing. So as you know, the new MAS rules will limit gearing to 45%. For Soybuild, their strategy is to keep their gearing within 35 and 40. They will not utilize the balance sheet all the way up to 45%. And also when they reach 40%, then they'll do their um, equity fundraising to try and bring the gearing back down to below 40. Finally, the last point of what to look out for in third quarter, you should expect to continue to see year-on-year growth in their revenue and DPU. This would come about from contributions from KTL Offshore and SpeedyTech. These were acquired in fourth quarter last year, as well as Technics, which was acquired in the second quarter of this year. Now I'll speak a bit more. Oh, so for Soybuild, we still maintain a buy with a target price of 96 cents. It closed at 87 cents last week on Thursday. Now I'll spend some time to talk a bit more about the business park space. So if you log into the Poems platform, you would have seen that we published two reports in the last 2 weeks discussing on some information on business parks. The first report was on the supply side, while the second report was on the demand side. So for supply side, there's actually no planned new space for business park in 2017. So what that means is that there will be a limited supply of this business park space, um, and there might not. Yeah, and so in 2016, that will be the last of the business park spaces coming into the market. For the demand side, there was a report from the property consultancy that the tenants are also choosing this business park space and moving out from CBD. So As we have mentioned several times before, the rental in the CBD is more than $10 PSF per month, while business park space is ranges between $3.50 to $6 per month PSF. So the buildings are also of equal design and with the same set of amenities, and this would benefit the tenants who are cost conscious and want to retain their operations, and they can move it out from city center to the other fringe areas for less rent. Okay, moving on, we'll talk about our weekly tactical.
Okay, morning everybody. This is Sam here. So, moving on to the weekly tactical. Uh, okay, so it seems that we are back again on a risk-on mode, with Greek and Chinese crises have passed for the moment. Uh, I'll talk a little on that too as well. Volatility is down, and investors are looking at cyclicals again. I'll be showing a very good chart on volatility in later part of this presentation as well. And so for short term, the optimism remains quite bullish for now. Greece, the news with Greece, I mean, is old. I mean, by now, but the news is that Greece they had a negotiation. Finally, they made the deal where they would do debt restructuring in exchange for austerity. And so for now, short-term wise, they have loaned them some emergency loans of around 7 to $15 billion that will help them to carry on their short-term uh, operation within Greece, and then they are talking to get approval from the respective countries, like from Germany and from France, to get their third bailout deal, which will be worth of around $96 billion. So it's a good news. You can see on the chart the Europe market is back on the bull territory now. Mm, so, and second important thing, there was the news for last few weeks, China. So it seems that if you look into the technical wise, uh, it has managed to stay up above the 200 moving 200 day moving average, which gives an idea that it remains quite people. I mean, investors remain quite optimistic. And then the most important thing on the China side is that the optimism has improved since the Chinese government has managed to avert the crisis uh, of the sell-off and everything, and so the investor psychologically has been quite positive to them. You need to take care of, I mean, to mind this the moving average thing, which is quite important technical wise. Money continues to flow into cyclicals in defense. For last week, it was mostly on the healthcare sector, technology, and telecommunications. Volatility-wise, like I said, it's back to 12%, went up all the way to 20. 20 is a sign of trouble or problem. Now it's back to 12. So it looks as if nothing has happened or nothing happened. Uh, but so far, I mean, the low volatility is kind of an indicator telling that the risk on mode is back on. If you look into the valuation of the markets, uh, the regional PE and the PB, it suggests that US, Singapore, Indonesia, and India look expensive. Though this valuation can persist for a long period of time, and it mostly depends upon the fundamentals. So if the fundamentals, such as in case of India and US, stays strong, then the valuation wise they might continue to be on the upper level of the valuation. Comparatively, Hong Kong looks really cheap right now with the PE of 10.5, and this is after the sell-off in last few weeks in Hong Kong. So that is something for investors to worth note. So US, we still remain bullish on US. US, we have been bullish long term over a couple of quarters already. Uh, Technicals in the market situation right now suggest that it might continue to to move upwards, and definitely based on the fundamentals, which are is quite strong and has remained strong for some time. And just to share this very small kind of a concept or theme on Iran. So US-Iran nuclear deal opens up potential for serious expansion of business activity in the region. In so although Singapore did not have much trade with Iran at this point in time, but still, I mean, when the doors of Iran will open, and then the oil, which uh, will be flooded into the market from Iran, and once these sanctions are lifted off, that will affect the oil market and put pressure on the pricing. And so in Singapore, those low oil price should benefit most of the energy consuming companies. In companies which have exposure in Middle East, including the Sembcorp Marine, which has 10 to 15% of revenue from the region. Other sectors such as consumer staples, exporters, and then the banks, hospitality might be the beneficiary from this US-Iran nuclear deal as well. The sectors which will be affected and which investors and clients should stay away will be the alternative energy companies such as Renewable Energy Asia Group or the Green Dragon Gas companies. Now, of course, this deal will still have to go through Congress approval and stuff, but because it's not only the U.S. involved in this deal, it's the Europe side involved as well. And just today, Kerry uh, uh, had uh, had to say that that U.S. will have to approve this thing because there's a lot of uh, not only U.S. but also on the Europe side, they've put a lot into this deal. But of course, it won't be so easy, and it will take some time before the sanctions are taken off and the oil from the Iran gets into the market. Well, this is all for today, and any questions are welcome. Hi, there's a question on what is your projection of the oil price with the latest removal of the sanctions of Iran? Well, we are not commodity analysts, so we cannot give exact number of where we would see the oil price to go. But then 50 seems to be at quite a bottom of the oil price. And the important thing to note here is that with that level of 50, most of the alternative energies sector won't be able to survive, you know. And so that is the most important point here. And even when the sanctions are removed, it might come a little blow, but then 50 is something that we think is going to persist around there for a while. All right, with no further question, we would end this webinar now. Uh, don't forget to tune in next week on Monday again for this webinar. Have a nice week ahead.